let's look at number 19. You have we want to find a line perpendicular. I'm sorry, we want to find the equation of a line perpendicular to x minus 5y equals 3, and we want to write it in slope-intercept form. Okay. Also, it's going through the point 5, comma 3. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite x minus 5y equals 3, and we want to find the slope of this equation. And by the way, that's the only thing I care about, is that I want to know what the slope is. There's two ways of finding the slope. The first way is getting y by itself and putting into y equals mx plus b. This is the traditional way that people do it. So notice I'm subtracting x, and then I'll divide through by negative 5. And I'll get 1/5 x minus 3/5. And this is my equation. Again, all that I care about in this equation is that the slope is 1/5. The other way of doing this is to remember the format ax plus by equals c, and recall that if I subtract ax from both sides, by equals negative ax plus c, and if I divide through by b, then y is equal to negative a over bx plus c over b, which means that my slope is always negative a over b when it's in a format of ax plus by equals c. So what that means is that a is 1, b is 5, and if the slope is negative a over b, then my slope is just going to be negative, well, let me do it in purple. It's going to be negative a, which is 1, over negative, remember b is negative 5, and this reduces to 1/5, which is the same thing as what I got here. So the next one I'm going to use negative a over b. All right, so we know the slope is 1/5. Okay, still got some work to do. So the next bit, we know that it goes through the point 5, 3, and we have a slope of, well, we're looking for perpendicular to 1/5. So remember, if the original slope is 1/5, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes, so now it's negative 5 over 1. Opposite means that if it's positive, it's now negative. Reciprocal means if it's 1 over 5, you flip top and bottom, you get 5 over 1. Alright, so now I'm ready to rock and roll. So the traditional way of doing this is we use y minus y1 equals mx minus x1, and I substitute in values, so I get y minus, this is my x1, y1 values, so y minus 3 equals the slope negative 5, x minus 5, and then I keep solving it. So y minus 3 equals negative 5x plus 25, add 3 to both sides, y equals negative 5x plus 28. And that's my equation. Alright, let's look at the next one. Now the next one is parallel. Now let's see here. Are the equations the same? X minus 5y equals 3, 2x minus 5y equals 3. No. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the equation. This time, I'm going to use the slope formula of negative a over b, okay? And that's from earlier, right? If it's in this format, we can just use negative a over b. And so that's going to give me negative 5 over 2. This is, oh, my bad. Just negative a is 2. So negative 2 over b, which is negative 5. So this is 2/5. Parallel lines have equal slopes, so I know my slope is 2/5. So now I repeat the process. So the equation again was y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. The slope is 2/5. My x1 value is 5. My y1 value is 3. And I solve. So distribute 2/5 x minus, I'm going to write it out, 2/5 times 5. I'm distributing 2/5 into both of these, equals y minus 3. And so from here, the 5s are going to cancel out, so I get 2/5 x minus 2 equals y minus 3. Add 3 to both sides. Y equals 2/5 x plus 1, and there's my equation. Alright. Last one is, if I give you 2 points, can you derive the equation? So now we have to use the slope formula to solve it. So this becomes, remember this is x1, y1, x2, y2, so it's going to be 8 minus 3 over negative 1 minus 5, which is 5 over negative 6. So again, we use y minus y1 equals mx minus x1, and we substitute in the values, so it's negative 5, 6, x minus x1. You can use either point, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use the first one because they're both positive, so it makes my life a little easier. Equals y minus y1, which is 3. Okay, so from here, we're going to go ahead and solve this, and what I'm going to do, because this doesn't distribute nicely into the quantity, I'm just going to multiply through by 6 to get rid of the fraction. Oops, a little ambitious there. Okay, so this gives me 6y minus 18 equals 6 times negative 5 over 6 x minus 5. The 6's cancel out, so 6y minus 18 equals negative 5 times x minus 5. I'm going to distribute the negative 5 into both of these. Negative 5x plus 25 equals 6y minus 18. Remember, the goal is to get y by itself. So I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So 6y equals negative 5x plus 5 and 8 is 13. Carry the 1, it's 43. Divide through by 6. And y is equal to negative 5, 6 x plus 43 over 6. And there's my equation. So the goal here is to remember that when it says perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Parallel lines have equal slopes. If I give you the slope equation, 2 points, I can use the slope equation to find the slope. And there you have it. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'll see you on the next video.